All right, folks, my name is Andrew Soot. I'm here with the Boston Bruins anthem singer, Mr. Todd Angilly, who is so gracious to take the time for us here this evening. First of all, Todd Angilly, welcome to Westfield. What's it like being out here?
I got to tell you, it's kind of funny. I'm from there. I live in the North Shore, and I kind of make the joke that anything west of 495 is like being in the Midwest. You know what I mean? But I've come out more and more, and I love it out here. And I've done more and more events. I've been out with the Thunderbirds and UMass, Amherst, college hockey, and now with the Starfires, and maybe a little hint or something, but I'd be happy to come back out. It's really nice out here. I'm really enjoying myself.
So you're familiar with 495 and the traffic. How was it, dealing with other traffic? You got to learn how to deal with the Pike.
Yeah, usually when I'm coming out in the morning, so the traffic is going the opposite way. This one was a little more frustrating. I was watching the clock. I had to be here by a certain time, and I made it just in under a minute. Not usually the way I like to do things, but no, it was. But the trade-off was, like I said, what a beautiful field we have here. Everybody is so friendly. We got Jonathan Papelbon over there signing autographs, and the Starfire is going to come out and take care of Nashua. So it's going to be a great night.
I want to ask you, it's well documented your start getting the anthem gig at TD Garden, tending bar, and then singing the anthem and going back to 10 bar. What's kind of your takeaway, looking back on that story, as how far you've come, doing all these events, and how that one happy little accident got you to this point?
I like the way you just put that. I think I'm going to steal that one happy little accident, because that's really what it was. The management or whatever had known that I could sing. I had done a couple of games here and there, very sporadically as a fill-in, but never had any inclination or thought that I would ever be in this, this level. And to be asked that night to come down and, in a pinch, and that's transcendent of what I try to tell the kids and tell people. Sometimes opportunities present themselves in the weirdest of ways, and you got to take it. And if I had said no that night, who knows what might have happened. I mean, I still went through the auditioning process and all that, but still, I think, showing them that night that I was committed and could jump in a split second. But I don't tend bar anymore now, because if for good reasons, it's this position, if you want to call it, or a role, has presented much more opportunities for me to become involved in community events, much like being here with the Starfires, and given me such an excellent opportunity to support foundations and organizations, charities, people out there that are trying to do the right thing and support different causes, and I call it good people doing great things. And when I'm asked to come out and sing or just be a presence, it's the most honorable thing for me to be asked. So I've gotten a lot busy. I never thought it would turn into something like this, and it's just presented such a wonderful opportunity, and the people that I've met.
I want to ask you about some other opportunities that you're creating for other people, because you've worked extensively in the criminal justice system as a, working to reinstate former inmates into the workforce. And talk to me about how that kind of came up for you, being in that role, and what that's taught you about, just people in general as humanity.
Yeah, I had that role prior to becoming the anthem singer, and I was a probation officer for 12 years in the Superior Court up in Essex County, and now I work within the state prison and parole system, and specifically I'm the Director of Workforce Development, and I get to interact with these individuals that are still in the prison system. They're in line, they're getting ready and prepared to release, but I get to work with them with employment and with employment placement. So not only am I working with them, but I'm working with employers throughout the Commonwealth and like marketing these individuals to them, bringing the employers into our facilities and showing them what our people are doing to prepare themselves. So it brings a lot more validity to it, and they see that I don't call them inmates, they're my clients. My clients are making a concerted effort to prepare themselves and to make that transition, that re-entry transition, as positive as because, whatever way you want to look at it, 95% of these individuals are going to be releasing. They're releasing. And we have to prepare them, and they want to do right. They want to have these opportunities, and I love being a part of that. And it's ensuring public safety. So, and a lot of them are Bruins fans. So maybe the employers and clients alike. So I get a pretty good reception on both ends, and so it kind of all works together. So it's been just a wonderful opportunity.
You've actually run for political office, and so, a lot to be said about what the landscape of politics is. But when you look at the community, something that you've been kind of talking about and really emphasizing throughout the course of our show, what does that say to you about, what is the initial goal of politics, and what would you say your role is in that?
I saw it as a wonderful opportunity being in the community, working with the employers, trying to connect my clients with employment and help them connect, reintegrate. I saw it as an opportunity when I ran for clerk of courts, and I won't make this a political stump speech, but it was a wonderful. I mean, I lost considerably. I ran as an independent. I wanted to be that independent voice, independent person. Just the feeling and the vision that I had. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot along the way, and one of the things that was funny was I was actually told this by a lot of people. I think people were worried that if I had won the position, I was going to stop singing for the Bruins. So I think maybe that played into it. But, I still have those aspirations. But, I have those aspirations because I see a benefit to being in a position where I can, again, help people and create opportunities. So Sheriff of Essex County is not something that I'm gonna back away from. I that's kind of in my purview, and I think that presents a wonderful opportunity to incorporate everything that I've learned and bring the community together and get these individuals in the right position to reintegrate.
Well, Todd, you're known for singing the national anthem, but I gotta ask you, what are your other favorite songs to sing?
It's funny. I think what happens is you'll see on my social media, I do a lot of crooner events. We do watch parties when the Bruins are out of town. Different restaurants or bars or stuff will have these, what we call a watch party, and I provide entertainment for that. I think it's funny. People kind of are surprised that I know more than one song or two, depending on which country's in town. But we so the crooner stuff, Sinatra, Dean Martin, but I love country music. I've been able to sit in with some country bands and even classic rock. I was just out in Cleveland with my son, who's 12, an aspiring rock musician, rock guitarist, and got to sing with him and the band there that was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we did some Ozzy. So I like to dabble in a little bit of everything.
Well, I must say that I have to come to one of these crooner events of yours, and I'll be on the lookout for those. But your final thoughts on, just being here, seeing all the people here in this community around you, and what it means to you, and just kind of what you're going to take away from tonight.
Like I mentioned before, I was later than I wanted to be here. It's always kind of, mesmerizing to be in these new environments, this ballpark. I love that. That's why I like getting to places early, because I get an opportunity to sit there and take it all in and meet everybody. What I'm going to take away is a strong desire to come back. And even if it's not to sing, just to come back out and bring my kids out here. Maybe we have to coordinate something when the Big E, is out. But I love this area, and I think it's great that you have organizations like this, the Starfires, that provide a great opportunity. Not everybody can afford to go into the big games, and myself as well. With two kids, it gets tough sometimes. And these young men are on their way to the pros. So you might see the next Jonathan Papelbon or Johnny Damon, or who knows. So it's great stuff, and we have to support this, because these kids, to me, these kids need this opportunity to hone their skills.
Well, Todd Angilly, we are so gracious and thankful that you decided to make the trip out west, and I personally am very thankful that you decided to take the time to be with us here this evening. Well, I believe I'm supposed to say break a leg?
Yeah, I guess that's the saying. Yeah, no, listen, it was just, it's an honor. I love meeting everybody, taking pictures, whatever that is, especially the kids, and being able to convey that, if you take an opportunity, take a shot. That's all I say, is take a shot, and if it doesn't work out, that's why you take a second and a third shot. You just keep trying.
You are not limited to one shot. That's the closing message from Mr. Todd Angilly, most famous for being the national anthem singer at TD Garden for Boston Bruins home games, but has dabbled all throughout the communities within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This has been our pregame conversation with an anthem singer presented by Westfield State University. When we come back, there's a lot more tonight. It's the Nashua Silver Knights, it's the Westfield Starfires, and there's a whole heck of a lot of fanfare around it. Find out why on the other side of this break.